Good morning. Garden tour today. Good morning. Our tomatoes are finally ripening. This is the end of August on Zone 5b, north central Massachusetts. And we have Big Beef, Rutgers, and Cherokee Carbon. There's about 50 plus tomato plants, 25-ish planted on each side, plus volunteers of this giant Birdies raised bed. It's 4 8-in-1s put together, about roughly 27 feet long and 3.5 feet wide. Zinnias lining the center. You'll see the alyssum. We've got things like celery and basil in here. Onions on the other side as well. And I'll be planting a few more herbs around the edges now that these are getting going. You'll also notice we have bird houses on each post, and that's for the house wrens, which do a really good job of keeping up with bugs, which has been fantastic. I am about a month late on tomatoes this year. Normally I would have actually already started canning tomato sauce, and probably would have had the last couple years, I think by August 1st, I had roughly 30-something pounds of tomatoes. To date, I think I've picked 3 full-size tomatoes. So huge difference this year. And what a weird weather. 2 years ago, it was full wet the whole season. And then last year, it was drought. And this year, it was drought in May and something like 16 or 17 inches of rain in July. So definitely a little odd. Here's the Cherokee Carbon. It's a cross between a Cherokee and purple and a Carbon. Yeah, just really odd year. So this bed though is doing all right. We are now getting to the point where we're almost up to the lower and lean spools. I get these spools at Johnny Seeds. And what happens is when they get up to the height, what we'll do is we'll actually release string down and make sure to clip up the top, make sure to prune off the sucker after we move it. And then what we're going to do is lower it and then slide all of them over one spot, which makes the vine start laying across the bottom. I'd show you guys this. I got a cucumber this morning from the hoop house, so carrying that around this morning while we go through this. So at the end of the season, these tomatoes are probably going to be roughly, I think it was like 16 feet long or so. Because I'm pruning them to a single stem, I do need to get back here and prune. You can see I usually prune to the top fruit set, which would be here, which means all of these leaves would come to get taken off. And then I make sure that there's no suckers as well. So definitely more maintenance on this one as we go, but it does tend to have less disease and bigger fruit. There's always a thing of, if you let them grow a little bit more bushy, do they produce more fruit? Maybe. The ones I did tests with actually ended up with disease last year, so wasn't a very good, or maybe it was a good test to compare, whereas these guys last the whole summer. You see these white moths, they are not actually your friend. The caterpillars are not ideal. This bed of Lizzie's is finally starting to really bloom. This was supposed to be blue flash, and this definitely looks more like just a solid purple. Which I love the purple. It's an absolutely gorgeous color and just not what I expected it to be. The cool thing about Lizzie's are they kind of start green and then they turn and start changing to the color. So another one. So these first blooms, you're supposed to cut these off before you and not pick them until the second and third bloom are ready. So this is a really nice full Lizzie's. I finally finished picking the rest of the onions in this bed. Pulled out all the alyssum, put some general all-purpose fertilizer down, and got the last of the Lizzie's planted between here and this other bed. You see I still have a few onions that are still good, but most of them's necks were broken. I haven't replanted the center of that bed yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. With the marigolds, it might actually be a good bed for lettuce once those are all up. The cut flower bed back here, the Lizzie's are starting to do okay. I need to stake them up. Got these gorgeous cosmos and the celosia and giant marigolds I've been using in bouquets quite a bit. I should point out in the other bed too, but these, and I need a weed, these red onions are absolutely gorgeous this year. So a few snapdragons left in there, a few stalk. Here's another celosia and status in there, and then straw flowers. I need to start picking these for crafts this winter. The mums are doing much better now that we got irrigation. We should have the fertilizer attachment, and I'll try to do a quick video on that. It's supposed to arrive today. It was supposed to be here on Friday, I think, so hopefully we get that and we can get them fed. These little guys definitely need food badly, but overall they're looking pretty decent, I think. Cosmos status, I picked the large delphinium in here. The dahlias need to get staked badly, and I did pull a lot of the snaps out of that one. This bed, the carrots are mostly up. These are pelleted carrots, storage carrot. They're a 70-something day. We roughly have 70 days left, so they will actually do better with a frost though. And that's where the sugars really come out in the carrots. As you can see, there's a couple gaps here. Still trying to water this in pretty consistently to get them going. I have a little pile of Lizzie's here, ending up everywhere. The Thai chilies are doing all right. There's a lot more on there than you probably think. And there's, I think, serranos and jalapenos maybe also over here. I've got some of the hot peppers in the grow bags too. And then I've got the guajillos. I need to prune these badly. And poblanos are these. Let me show you how big they are. Pretty decent sized peppers. Here's a poblano there. And you can kind of see some guajillos back there as well. These are 6 little jalapeno plants that I kind of saved from a local place and trying to get them back to health. So I pruned them heavily, planted them pretty deep, and I will pick off the fruit. I figured I'd give it a little bit more so we can actually use the fruit, and then try to make it so that it's really focused on some green growth for a little bit first. Over here, this is my wild bed. This is mostly cayenne peppers, and they are loaded, and I've sort of staked them, kind of minimum I had to do to get them okay. There's onions, there's a bunch of little peppers in here that are just way behind. So lots of basil in here, and then the onions around the back. You'll notice I have marigolds in most of my pepper beds. The marigolds attract the slugs, so if the slugs are given a choice, they're going to pick marigolds every day over my pepper plants, which I would much prefer to do a sacrifice on. And those I grow from seed. You'll see this one looks really dead because I transplanted it in the middle of the day yesterday. It should come back, but we'll see. Got a peppercini or shishito over here. And let's see, basils, parsley, basil, marigold, oh, celosia here. Hopefully that'll be good for the fall. And then over here in these two beds, most of the onions I harvested out of this bed. You can see I have one left or two. And then the back half is mostly flowers, although there are some picnic peppers in there. There's 2 picnic pepper plants, I think, in this 8-in-1 Birdies bed. The rest of them are bell peppers, and mostly California Wonder with some hybrid ace as well. And then I put some basil in here, and you'll notice that I picked most of the onions. I did have to put one stake up so far on the corner here, but for the most part they are holding each other up at this point. And we do have some fruit in here. Definitely way behind, and I'm definitely feeling the fact that I planted the seeds about 4 or 5 weeks late, I think. But we have been eating picnic peppers. Over here, got carrots coming up in the corner. I have the radishes from Michelle in the Meadow. We just picked a couple of those actually last night, so we'll cut those open, try those. We've got just a few lettuce heads growing. This whole section here is seeded with lettuce. And then I've got celery over here. The carrots from the mid-season plant. And then these carrots are coming up here. And I've got some more carrots coming up around this bunch here. Try to fill in that space. You'll notice I did cut the head of lettuce over here. And then I left the stump. And that is so we potentially have some more lettuce growth off of that. Sweet potatoes are going absolutely wild. This is 15 slips bought from Johnny Seeds. And I may have Jay help me clean up the edges of these and try to tuck them back into the bed. So lots of peppers as usual, and a big turnover year. In the center of this bed, this is all lettuce seed right now as well. And in the hoop house, I started 2 large grow bags full of lettuce seed, which I'll transplant out once they get big enough. This bed we still haven't planted. This is a 6-in-1, so you'll notice it's much smaller. And this will probably become lettuce from the other transplants here in about a week or 2. The dahlias are doing pretty good over here. I did try to plant some sunflowers yesterday up there, and some procuts. They're about a 55-60 day season. Snapdragons and a couple zinnias, rudbeckia. The yarrow is doing really well over here as well. And I've got my glads that I've been picking through there. Queen Anne's lace is everywhere right now. And the goldenrod, which is actually a really commonly used florist flower, is finally coming out, which will be good. On the tunnel, I did pull the sweet peas for the most part on that backside to try to get a little bit more sun to get these beets done so I can pull those. And then this side will get replanted with cucumbers. Cucumbers are usually like a 55-day crop. So if I plant them right now, we should get some more cukes climbing up here. Then the beets need to get pulled as well. Zinnias are doing really well. Beans. I've got a massive pumpkin who's doing pretty decent. You can see spiders. You can see the beans here. We've been picking those. And I need to net this guy. It's a long pie pumpkin, and I believe they get close to 2 feet long, 16 to 24 inches maybe. And you can see this guy is really doing well on climbing the trellis, which is kind of fun. And then I've got a bunch of different green beans. I've got a watermelon that is determined to come out here. and another cucumbers, more cucumbers kind of mixed in here, and also I think Jack and Jill little mini pumpkins for decoration. There's another watermelon here. So it'll be, I think, pretty full pretty quick here on that tunnel again. We definitely need to get the freeze dryer going again for drying out some of this dill. We love making our own homemade ranch, so that's a really good ingredient for us. But garden's definitely going on. It's still small, but we're definitely getting to the point where we can eat a lot of things out of the gardens, but not a good production year compared to most. And I have a feeling once these tomatoes finally start ripening, we're going to be making sauce like crazy. Last year we canned 250 pounds worth of tomatoes, to give you guys an idea. And it was really thankful because my parents' freezer failed. And so they lost a whole bunch of their tomato sauce that my mom freezes. So I was able to offer them quite a bit of our sauce to cover them for the season. Hopefully this stuff will start going, and we'll do another update, and I'll try to do a couple more focused videos soon on potentially on the pepper pruning and the tomato lower and lean trellis as well, and we'll also do the irrigation on the mums. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're enjoying these videos, let me know, and happy gardening.